Step 1, pop off the covers underneath. Pull the sticker off that's normally there and remove the screws. Next, you're going to take off the faceplate and pull these off. Next, you're going to lift this piece off. You need to remove those screws. It is at this point where you now have a controller that is naked. If you want to replace the outside shell like I have with something that is pretty and shiny, this would be the time to do it. Getting to the joystick module. Remember that when your controller is upside down, that means buttons facing the table. Your left hand radio wire is going to the top little connector, and your right hand radio wire is going to your bottom connector. I've already done this part because I need 2 hands to do it, but I gently pulled this up after making sure that all of the screws are undone. It's pretty small. At this point, you need to disconnect those. Once your radio wires are disconnected, you're going to have to gently lift this up. We've already disconnected that little plug in there at the bottom underneath the center screw. Once it's disconnected, then you do the antenna wires, and then you're going to have to work this edge up past the trigger pieces. Body screws are likely to stick there because there's magnets in there. But once you're at this point, you're gently going to flip this over. Remember, you have a bunch of wires on here that you are trying not to disrupt too much. As you may notice, there's a little tab right in the middle that needs to be pressed in. There's one on each side of this. And you could unsolder this, which would make the whole thing in some ways easier and in some ways harder. We're going to take a little risk. We're going to push those tabs in and simultaneously pull the green thing away from the rest of the joystick module. Not very far, just far enough to get to the potentiometer. As you can see, there's some hair in there. After you have one of these for 6 to 8 months, if you have dogs or anything can get inside here and mess with the connection. So we're going to be pushing in tabs right here, and directly on the other side, pull this piece out away to about right here. We don't want to pull it away too far because it is soldered to the board. Pieces, or tools rather, that you'll need for this are probably little screwdrivers. I did razor blades the first time, but I also broke one of the tabs. I need 2 fine points, and I can pry away while pressing in. There we go. So what we're trying to do is get this little plastic piece out. I have to push this back a little bit more. See, there's a little white thing right in there. Kind of got to get around it. Okay, got to get it out without bending this. This is how it's supposed to look. These little tabs hold it in place. Right in there you see a little line. We're going to run, use vodka, but rubbing alcohol is probably better, with cotton all the way around. I'm also going to clean this, then I'll do this with all of them, so that we don't have to deal with drift anymore. So get our container. This in there, gently going to go around this. Once you've cleaned this, do not touch it with your hands. If your cotton swab is going to be too big, take your cotton round little piece off. That's smaller than your cotton swab. And get in tighter spaces. Dip that in your cleaning solution. You'll wiggle this in there. You look at some gunk. That's what makes your controller drift. Anything changes the resistance, the potentiometer, it's going to make it so that your controller's values are changing, and therefore it's going to think you want to move. You gently want to grab this piece. You're going to reinsert it back in there. Again, remember, you don't want to touch the copper. This is ideally how you want to grab it. Right up under there, you can gently maneuver it. You got to get it over the little white piece, under the little blue piece. Not quite in there. There we go. That's in now. Double check. Oops. So it's lined up, and then you should, again, gently pop it back on. Assuming you're doing this to all of them, your drift should be gone. Because if you're taking it apart, you might as well just take it apart once, right? Don't reuse the same dirty piece of cotton. That's enough, just enough to get up in there. That's how you correct the drift. Okay, now reassembling. Between those 2 dots of light, there's a plug that connects this board to this board. Once that's in there, gonna put these little screws back in. Oh, and don't stab yourself with the razor blade. Start your screws going counterclockwise until you feel a small click so that you don't cross thread or screw holes. Put on your joysticks before you put everything back together. They're not polarity sensitive. Again, this is the time when you can put fancy different colored options on. And if at all possible, avoid rubbing your fingers all over the board, because theoretically, if you don't ground yourself, you could fry it. This is a lot of work to fry. Newly fixed controller over. Cradle, walk, then reverse till you get a click. Oh look, it turned on. Oh, let's go see if it works. I was in the other room, so you can't see that this worked, but it turned on my Xbox, which had been off previously. I came across this issue a long time ago, gave up on multiple controllers, bought new ones, and this is the culmination of a realization that I had after I had a mouse. It was giving me enough problems that I thought that I could probably fix, so I looked it up, and what I was told was take apart the scroll wheel. I took it apart and realized maybe the issue was similar in my controllers after looking at the little piece. So far, no back and forth drift, no forward, backward, left, right drift. Before I would just barely tap it and it would go like this. It would go up, and okay, it would go kind of up and to the right. So far things are looking good. It's still very responsive. Yeah, well, no more drift. Happy as can be. Saved myself 60 bucks and I get to use my wireless controller instead of only using the wired one now. Thanks for watching. If you like this and want to subscribe to my random schedule of, hey, I decided to upload a video, be my guest. Have a good day.